Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my May TBR. May is going to be a very busy month for reading because I'm actually hosting two readathons in May, the Disney Read-Along Round 5 as well as StarWarsAthon. So both of my announcement videos for those readathons will be linked up in the card in the corner and in the description box if you want to watch those to learn more about the readathons and when they'll be taking place. But before we jump into the books I plan to read this month, I wanted to just say that I recently hit 2,000 subscribers on my channel, and so I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that has ever subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and commented and liked them. All of that really helps my channel out, and I super appreciate it. And I know that 2,000 isn't a whole lot in comparison to some other channels, but for me that's like more than half of my hometown's population, so it's kind of mind-blowing to think that 2,000 people have hit the subscribe button on my channel. So I just want to say thank you and just to mention it in this video because I super appreciate it. So I just wanted to mention that, and now we can jump into my TBR, starting off with the books that I plan to read outside of readathons. So the first one, which I am currently reading, is Part of Your World by Liz Braswell. Because I'm currently reading it, I took the dust jacket off. But this is book 5 in the Twisted Tales series. This was in my April TBR, so I'm not going to linger on it too much here. Obviously, wasn't able to get to it in April, but hopefully I will get to it in May. Next up, we have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. I read Throne of Glass in April, and kind of surprisingly, I really enjoyed it. I was a little worried that the hype surrounding that series would have ruined the book for me, but I actually really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to picking up the sequel, and hopefully this one doesn't disappoint me. And then we have The Paris Hours by Alex George. This is a historical fiction book that is set in 1927. I'm not 100% sure what the plot of this book is, but I do know that we follow multiple main characters and it takes place over only one day, which really intrigues me, and I think this might be a good book to read for like a little 24-hour tiny-a-thon, which I know I just said that these are the books that I'm going to be reading outside of readathons, but this seems like a good readathon book. Also, it's not very long, so maybe I will pick this up for a little tiny-a-thon. So now moving on to the readathons, starting off with StarWarsAthon, which starts on May 2nd and goes through the 8th, I believe. I should probably know when my own readathons take place, but I don't off the top of my head, so I'm trying my best. I know it starts on the 2nd, though. So I have 2 books for that readathon thus far. I think I probably will end up getting to more than 2, hopefully, fingers crossed, but I've got so many Star Wars books that I think I'm just gonna see what I feel like reading in the moment, but as of right now, there are 2 books specifically that I want to get to. The first one is Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. This, I believe, is a part of the new Star Wars canon, and this takes place before A New Hope. I think Princess Leia is about 16 when this book is supposed to take place, so I've had this on my TBR for quite a while, so hopefully now I will finally get around to actually reading it. And then the second book I have is Labyrinth of Evil. This book I think may have been a part of the original canon, and I'm not sure if it still is since it is a part of the prequel trilogy. Not 100% sure, but I do know that this is a part of its own trilogy of 3 books. So Labyrinth of Evil is the first one, and this takes place right before Revenge of the Sith, and then the second book in the trilogy I believe is like a novelization of Revenge of the Sith, and then the third book is right after Revenge of the Sith once he becomes Darth Vader. If you didn't know, Anakin is my favorite Star Wars character, so I am super excited to pick this book up, and I think if I am able to finish these 2 books, then the third one that I pick up will probably be the third book in this trilogy, because I do own that one, and I think I'll probably just skip over the second one since I'm pretty sure it's just like a novelization of the film, and that's the movie that we're watching for our watch-along this week, so I don't think I really have to read the second book, but we'll see. And now to move on to the books I plan to read for the Disney read-along. So there are 5 reading challenges, and I have 3 books that I hope to read. I had to improvise a little bit because some of the books I had to order from the library, and they did not come in time for the readathon, and they don't look like they're going to be coming in anytime soon because they are kind of new releases, and some of them are still on order for the library to get them, so I just don't think they're coming in time. So I had to improvise a little bit. I only have 3 books for the readathon. So the first reading challenge is The Queen of Hearts, which is to read a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. So I have a book that fits both of those things, The Anatomical Shape of a Heart by Jen Bennett. This obviously has a heart on the cover and in the title. And if you don't know, I really love Jen Bennett's books. I've read almost all of them. I think there's maybe like a handful of them that I haven't read, and this is one of them. I actually have no idea what this book is about. I'm pretty sure it's a contemporary romance, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. I think this is one of her earlier works though, and I think all the ones that I've read so far have been her newer releases, so I am a little bit nervous going into it, but I think I'm going to really enjoy it, despite not having any idea what it's actually about. The next challenge is Meet the Robinsons, which is to read a book with family in it. So the book I picked for this, I'm hoping does prominently feature a family in it, but I'm not 100% sure, and that is Mexican Gothic. This is a horror book that has been pretty popular on BookTube recently, so I think most people know what it's about, except I don't even really know what it's about, so maybe that fact isn't true. But from what I understand, we're following a main character who gets a frantic letter from her cousin that was just recently married, and so she goes to stay with her cousin in this old house with this family that her cousin married into, and everything about it is just a little bit odd. I'm not 100% sure clearly as to what the actual plot of it is. I don't even know if what I just told you is accurate, but I'm pretty sure it has some kind of family featured in it, so I think it's going to work for this challenge. Nonetheless, I am really excited to pick this book up because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it's been a while since I've read a good Gothic story, so I'm pretty excited to read this one. The next challenge is Raya and the Last Dragon, and that is to read a new release. So for this, I will be reading The Paris Library. This is another book that was on my April TBR, but I just never got around to reading it. But luckily, it works perfectly for this challenge because what I was going to use for this challenge is one of the books that just isn't going to come in from the library anytime soon. But this book was published in February, so I think it works well for this challenge. The next challenge is The Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast, and that has 2 different prompts to it. So the first one is you can read a book that you bought because of the cover, or you can read a book that you have avoided reading because the cover isn't so pretty. So originally I was going to read Tender is the Flesh, which personally, not a fan of the cover, but that's another one that didn't come in from the library in time, so instead I'm going to be doubling up and using the Paris Library again. Now, technically I didn't solely buy this book because of the cover. I am actually interested in the plot of it, which I just realized I never actually told you what it's about. It's historical fiction set during 2 different timelines. It's set during World War II in Paris during one of them, and then in Montana 1983 in the other one. I'm actually not 100% sure, which is no surprise to anybody, of what the actual plot of this book is, but I do enjoy World War II stories, and I also love books that are set in Paris, so I was drawn to this book for those reasons also. But it is historical fiction, which tends to be a bit hit or miss for me. So normally I would get any historical fiction books from the library because there's a 50% chance I might hate them, but with this book, the cover, in my opinion, is so stunning that I had to just go out and buy it anyway. When I saw it actually in person on the shelf, I was like, I just have to buy this book. Even though there's a 50% chance I might hate it, I have to buy it. So I think it works for this challenge as well. And then the final challenge for the Disney read-along is to read a book that is set in the same city or country as your favorite Disney movie. So 2 of my all-time favorites are The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Ratatouille, which are both set in Paris. So again, I'm going to be tripling up and using this book again, since obviously it is set in Paris. So those are all of the books that I hope to get to in May. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you plan to read in the month of May, and if you'll be participating in any of these readathons as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!